Hey, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. My name's Caleb Williams, and I'm really excited about this video because I want to illustrate the value of long-term wealth potential, your retirement value. I think Tony Robbins once said, we totally overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate or vastly underestimate what you can do over your lifetime. And I find the same thing happens as it relates to our wealth. So often we are so caught up in the short-term transactions and we don't understand that, number one, how much money we're actually going to make over our lifetime and what the value of that is going to be. And so I'm using a calculator system called Truth Concepts. Truth Concepts is run and developed by a good friend of mine, Todd Langford. And he just really created this calculator suite to start telling the truth about numbers and math. And this one was a big one for me when I first started. I'm showing you a video that I did over 3 years ago. And what you'll see is not a lot has changed in our message. Number one, the first point that I want you to get is you're your greatest asset. And the number one thing that is bringing money into your life is probably your ability to work or create value in the world. So that's number one. Number two is inefficiencies will crush us long term. They crush us in the short term, but they really have a damaging effect long term in our financial life. And then the third area is I think a lot of the financial industry says if you need to hit a retirement quota, just take more risk. Which is ironic because the definition of risk is to take your chance of loss. So increase your chance of loss and make more money. Well, that can happen, and we can always look at a case study that says this person made 10% instead of 7%. They're better off. I think we have to take a step back and say, is taking risk the best way to maximize your wealth, or are there other ways? And so I think this will be a good video to illustrate a couple of things. And so without further ado, enjoy the video below. This is Better Wealth with Caleb Williams. All right, in this video, we're going to be looking at max potential. This is one of the first calculators and kind of talks that I've heard. It made a very big impact in the way that I teach people about money and how I think about money. And so I wanted to include it in our membership education area. And really, we're going to learn about 3 lessons. We're going to learn about we're going to understand that what we mean by human life value, that our ability to earn income is our greatest financial need. We're also going to notice that losing money and not through inefficiencies is a bad strategy and really can be really costly. And then we're also going to dispel the myth that taking more risk on your money is the best way to become wealthy. So in this calculator system, it's a calculator system by Truth Concepts, I'm taking someone that we could say it's a family, we can say it's an individual that's earning $75,000 a year, has a pretty small current net worth of $10,000. We're just looking over a 35-year period of time. So not super long, but also we're not looking short term. And we're gonna make a couple assumptions. The first assumption we're gonna make is this person can earn 2% a year, and their income will increase 2%. And so for some, this might be higher, for some, maybe not, but it's a good assumption to make. And then we're also going to assume that by investing money or by saving money, you can earn 5% on the money that you're saving. And again, this could be high. This could be the high end for some. This could be a low end for others. But I think it's a good number for this illustration. I want you to notice when we say that your ability to earn income is your greatest financial asset, look at this person or family's maximum potential. Take someone that's earning $75K with small assets over 35 years, their maximum earning potential, what they'll be worth, is going to be over $9.2 million. I think a lot of people think about what they make and they don't think about themselves in terms of multi-millionaires. But this person, if all they did was save money, all they did was earn money, save it, invest it, that money over 35 years would be worth over $9.2 million. Now this example is sort of a little bit of a stretch because that's not realistic for most people. For instance, unless you're making money illegally, you have to pay taxes on that. And I'm using a 30% tax bracket, and I know some people might go like, hey, that might be high. I actually think it's on the low end for a couple reasons. I'm not just looking at income tax. You have to look at state tax. I'm looking around in my office right now, and every single thing I purchase, I had to pay tax on. we are taxed multiple times, and you'd be surprised how much tax that we have to pay, and it puts a drag on our max potential. Another thing I want you to notice is we only paid 1.1 million, and I know I say only, but it's a lot of money, but we paid 1.1 million dollars worth of taxes, but that ate up over 2.7 million of our max potential. This illustrates clearly the lesson of lost opportunity cost. When you lose a dollar to taxes, you never get that dollar back, and as a result, it doesn't just cost you a dollar, it costs you what that dollar could have earned you. And that's a really key concept that I focus and spend a lot of time on. Now let's look at debt. And this is just another, some people's debts are much, much higher. Some are zero. But the reality is you pay $800,000 worth of debt service over your lifetime, and yet that eats up actually 2.1 million. And your lifestyle and then other costs. And the example that I want to use is if you're only saving 3%, if you're only saving 3% in this scenario, your max potential of 9.2 million is now down to 332,000. Less than 3 years of what you made the last year. And so we have a problem. And the problem is this: most people don't even have 300,000 at retirement, and we wonder why. We scratch our heads, and then when we're looking at this, we go, okay, I get it. It's because we're not being efficient. We're losing a lot of money either knowingly or unknowingly, and $3.6 million of money that we paid throughout our life ate up almost 9 million. That's a perfect, if that doesn't illustrate lost opportunity cost, it's like a perfect example of lost opportunity cost. As you know, when you lose money, you don't just lose that money, but you lose what that could have earned. Now, so I said that a common myth out there is get a better rate of return. I want to be very clear. If you can safely get a better rate of return, your money will grow. The reality is, though, risk, or the definition of risk, is your chance of loss. So this idea that we're going to take a chance of loss and somehow get wealthier is kind of an idea that I don't like to buy into. But let's assume that if you're putting your money in a place that's you're thinking you can earn 8%, you're taking on more risk. The reality of you earning 8% without a down year in 35 years is pretty crazy. But let's say you could do it. Now in your same scenario, your money grows to 665,000. Again, not the American dream. It's higher, but quite frankly, this scenario is just not realistic. And so my whole thing is, and where pillar number one at BetterWealth Solutions is what if by better efficiencies, we could find money that you're either losing unknowingly, or be more efficient with the money that you know you're losing and maximize the money that gets to grow in your control and compounding. And so what if you could slim some of your taxes down? Or what if you could have a strategy that you could save and pay off debt at the same time, which we specialize in, is helping you maximize the velocity of your dollars. We're not going to touch lifestyle because no one likes the idea of touching lifestyle. So what if you could eliminate your other cost? You're going to notice, and I need to bring this down. You're going to notice if you save, and I just want to use 15%, if you're able to increase your savings by, let's just say in this example, 15%, not even including taking on more risk, your max potential in this scenario grows to over 1.4 million. And well, no, that's a far away from 9.2 million. It shows you that through efficiencies and by not taking any more risk, we can create more money. And so here's the goal. Saving more money is a good idea, and we need to have strategies that help us save and maximize the money that is not only compounding, but also that we can control. And so to kind of just revisit what we've learned is our greatest financial asset for most people is our ability to add value to the world, produce income, and think for ourselves. And so we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to not only protect that, but we're doing everything that we can that enhances our number one asset, which is ourself. We saw the damaging effects that lost opportunity cost has through inefficiencies. A $1 that you spend inefficiently now can cost you more than just $1. And finally, trying to chase great rates of return is not the greatest strategy. Ultimately, understanding your whole financial picture and making sure that you maximize efficiencies by saving more, you're going to have more money. And so max potential is a good way of kind of illustrating those three examples.
Thank you so much for listening to the BetterWealth podcast. It would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with the people that you know and love.